In late January 1898, one of America's newest battleships, the USS Maine, sailed into Havana Harbor as a show of support for Cuban revolutionaries. But on February 15th, the USS Maine suddenly blew up in Havana Harbor. 266 men were killed. It was claimed a Spanish mine was responsible, but in truth, the most likely cause was a fire in a coal bunker. The American press, however, demanded revenge. "Remember the Maine" became the battle cry.
This led to President McKinley declaring war on the Spanish Empire to liberate Cuba from the Spanish yoke, and also to give the Americans the opportunity to have a go at Spanish position in the Pacific.
The United States Asiatic Squadron was led by 60-year-old Admiral George Dewey. Dewey's fleet of 9 ships sailed for the Philippines. Waiting for them off the coast of the capital, Manila, was the elderly Spanish fleet, commanded by Rear Admiral Don Patricio Montojo y Pasaran.
Spanish Admiral Montijo realized that his force of colonial cruisers, many of them built of wood, quite obsolete with short-range weapons, would be completely outclassed by the Americans. So he put them as close to the shore as possible so that when they sank, the crew might have a chance of getting ashore.
On the early morning of May 1st, 1898, the Olympia led Dewey's fleet into Manila Bay with her 4 8-inch guns mounted on turrets, 10 5-inch guns for broadsides, and 21 smaller 15-caliber guns. The flagship was an impressive sight. And unlike his predecessors, Dewey didn't have to worry about the wind. Steam power offered him a variety of tactics.
As he comes into Manila Bay, Dewey has a choice. He can either anchor up opposite the Spanish fleet and just exchange fire with them until he wins, or he can reduce the risk to his own ships by keeping underway and making his ships a more difficult target for the Spanish gunners. Fire! His ships open fire and then circle round and open fire again. They just bombard the Spanish.
Manila Bay has been described simply as a gun duel.
Manila Bay is one of the last battles of the 19th century. There are no submarines, there are no aeroplanes, there are no soldiers. It really is just a fight between 2 fleets.
After a battle lasting 6 hours, with many of his ships sinking but still firing, Admiral Montojo surrendered.
The Spanish fleet had been shot to pieces, half it had sunk, and the rest of it was of not much further use.
330 men died on the Reina Cristina, and 90 were wounded. The wooden Castilla caught fire and sank with a loss of 25 men. The Olympia, however, sailed for Manila, with the ship's band playing Spanish tunes for the locals who'd come to stare at the victorious fleet.